How's it going, everyone? So happy Friday. Today we're going to talk about some things that I think are pretty important to talk about. I don't think people discuss them enough when it comes to trading. The topic of the video, it's going to be day trading, technical difficulties. And what I mean by this is technical difficulties, whether it be something that happened in your life or specifically broker or platform issues or chart issues, whatever it may be, software that you use, which actually I experienced today. This has happened to me before where I have broker issues or some sort of software issues, and I've noticed that sometimes I can spiral. I get frustrated, and then instead of just being calm, relaxed, I actually let it bother me. Now that I have more experience, I'm able to step in front of those emotions and make sure that I don't go crazy and get in trouble. So that's really what I want to talk about today. And then as far as just going over some examples, I have some right here. There's plenty more, but I think these are some of the major ones and the ones that I've experienced personally. So as far as the first one, bad sleep. The night before, if I get a really bad night's sleep, I make sure to be super careful the day after, because if I'm not 100% and I feel tired, that's when I can really make mistakes. And I'm sure everyone else can relate. When you have a bad night's sleep, it affects every aspect of your life. And when it comes to trading and real money, I don't want to mess around with that. So it's very important to me that if for some reason I didn't sleep great, I already am thinking defense first. I want to make sure that I'm incredibly patient, wait for the setups to look really good. There is no need to increase my size that day. And if I'm tired enough, I'll just take the day off. I rarely take days off. I'm the type of person where I kind of just want to be in it regardless of how I feel. But I am self-aware of the situation. And then if I didn't sleep well, I need to be super careful, tread lightly, because I know if I don't, things can get out of control pretty quickly. And as far as the next one, bad diet, I mean like a meal that's not normal. So let's say I happen to eat a really big dinner really late the night before. I have a ton of carbs and a ton of sugar. Sometimes that can roll over to the next day where I feel a little tired. My decision making is off. That sugar's kind of messed me up. And if I feel like that the day of trading, I know that I need to be extremely cautious. And also something that's very important. Let's say you have a fight with a friend, a spouse, or a family member. A lot of times that puts you in a bad state of mind. And it's very important what's going on outside of trading to determine the performance of your trading. So if you just had a really big fight with somebody that you love, and then you try to trade the next day, a lot of times those days can be really bad, and it's not a coincidence. It's because your mindset was not 100%, you were not in a great mood, and because of that, you probably started forcing trades, maybe you weren't thinking clearly, you did some stuff that you normally don't do, and it led to a really bad day. And also, let's say you just don't feel good. You have a sick day or you have an off day. I have off days all the time where I wake up and I just don't feel great because that's what happens. I do my best to be as positive as I can, but I'm not sick. Maybe I just feel a little off. Especially being sick though, I make sure to not trade. I will take a day off because if you're sick, it's almost guaranteed that I'm gonna make bad decisions. And if I feel a little off that day, I make sure that I size down, no need to size up, and I wanna make sure that I take less trades so I don't open myself up to more risk and more bad decision making. It happens to everybody. We all get sick and we all have days where we just don't feel 100%. The most important thing is noticing that and then making sure to act accordingly, and don't bring that to the market so you end up losing a lot of money and then you're really disappointed after that. And then a very important one is money issues. Let's say you don't trade full time, you have a job or you have a business or a side hustle and something happened within that. All of a sudden, now you see trading in a different way where you maybe have to start to force trades. You need to make money because of the situation that happened outside of trading. And that's usually when things get really bad. And especially if you're just struggling in general, which I know that there's a lot of people that are, whenever you have any sort of struggle, and especially financially, when you're trying to trade and you want to fix that through trading, and you use the market as a means to kind of take care of that problem, it usually ends up spiraling out of control and it goes the other way. The situation usually gets worse. So in my opinion, one of the best things to do if there's just money issues at all would be to take a break. The market's not going anywhere. So figure out your situation outside of trading, make sure to take care of that, come back better financially, and your trading will be better. And the last one, which is the one that I experienced today, is broker or software problems. We're using all these online platforms, and sometimes they have issues. I've experienced it with Lightspeed, I've experienced it with Interactive Brokers, and I've experienced with Thinkorswim, which is just what I use for charts. Today, I noticed off the open that the Thinkorswim charts were very laggy. They were really messed up. So right off the bat, this was probably the first 60 seconds of the morning open, I realized that, okay, it seems like I'm having issues with the charts. I don't want to make mistakes. I do not want to let this frustrate me, overtrade, and then have a really bad day, and especially on a Friday. That would be a really unfortunate way to end the week. Handful of years ago, when I was in the beginning of my journey, I would have let that really bother me. I probably would have overtraded and then ended the day red and been really disappointed that I wasn't able to control those emotions. Now that I'm more experienced, I noticed that I was able to step in front of my emotions and realize that it's not that big of a deal. The most important thing is play defense. Don't beat my account up. There's always going to be another day. And I know that there's plenty other things that can happen in people's lives that can affect their trading, but in my opinion, these were just some of the biggest points and the ones that I've experienced personally. So the biggest takeaways from this are that 1, day trading is incredibly hard. It's a ridiculous way to make money. It's very performance-based. It's super stressful. So if things outside of your life are not in order, your trading is not going to be in order. And another very important thing is that if you experience any one of these issues, you had a bad night's sleep, you ate a really bad meal last night that's out of the norm, and you feel a little funky the next morning, you're sick, you got into a fight with a friend, you have money issues, or you have broker or software problems, it's okay to take a break. I don't do as well as I could at this. I usually don't take breaks at all. Even if I fall into one of these categories, sometimes I will push through. But as time goes on and I become more experienced, I'm realizing that it's a good thing to step away from the market and come back another day, another week, or even another month if you need to take a break that long when things aren't going right. So that's my 2 cents on the topic and something that I think traders need to talk more about. Hopefully you got some value from the video. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. I just wanted to highlight a couple cool things I have to offer. The first is going to be my newsletter watch list. This is going to be what I post on my private Twitter 30 minutes before market open every day. And what I'm doing is I'm doing a very quick highlight of the SPY, the Qs, the bigger picture, the upside level that I'm looking at, the downside level that I'm looking at, the market news or the catalyst that day. And then I'm going to list 4 to 6 names that I'm watching, my favorites that day, and then the catalyst behind them if there's any news, the bigger picture idea, what's going on the daily chart, and then the levels to the upside and the downside. And then I add some mental notes at the bottom, kind of what I'm thinking that day, make sure to keep my expectations in check and follow my process. And the second thing is going to be a one-on-one call. So if you want something that's less of a commitment and you just want to talk to me about my process and how I approach the market, this is going to be great. It's a one-on-one live call for 1 hour. So if you're interested in any one of these 2 things, there will be links in the description below. Feel free to check them out.